Along those same lines, sir, President Raisi is notorious for having been directly involved in the massacre of 30,000 political prisoners in 1988, many of whose families were victims of that massacre are represented here today and will be tonight. Now that he's ascended to the presidency, we get reports consistently that the resistance units are growing in number and frequency of protests. How can we recognize that the change must come from within? How can we nonetheless be encouragers from the outside as the United States to encourage those sorts of activities?
Well, let me say first and foremost, I think the election of President Raisi is evidence of a regime in Tehran that feels vulnerable. President Raisi is guilty of genocide, and someday I believe we will be held to account. But to install as the ostensible president of Iran someone with such a dark past suggests to me that this is a regime that knows its days are numbered and has sought now to send a message founded on intimidation and fear from almost the highest levels of their government to their people. But not surprisingly, as is actually recorded in our faith tradition, Marc, that whenever there was a time of pressing down and oppression on people of faith, things grow. And I've been deeply inspired as it seems hardly possible that the regime could be more brutal. But as the regime seems more desperate and under President Raisi continues to press down, what the world is witnessing, and here at Ashraf 3, you are giving voice, and your great Iranian-American community is giving voice, is the resistance is growing stronger by the day as the regime is growing weaker by the day. And the first thing we should do is immediately withdraw from any further negotiation with Iran in Vienna to restart the Iran nuclear deal. We should stop, cease, and desist, and simply make it clear that there will be no concessions, there will be no sanction relief, and America and the free world will never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon.